All right, I'm just gonna dive right in.
I love it. Welcome back, everybody. Mistborn,
Welcome
Misty
back.
Boys. We're
Misty
here.
Boys are back. Mistborn trilogy, the final Empire, chapter 26, coming at you hard and fast with a snack, the shortest snack we've had.
It's pretty short.
And I quote, "I am growing so very tired."
Oh, me too.
So I mean, really, I can really get on board with him here. I feel that. I don't always get along with Lord Ruler, but in this instance, yeah, me too, bro.
Yeah, me too, bro. Not getting along with him. We don't see eye to eye.
Obviously he's going through some things, so many things that he's being curt about it.
Yeah, he's getting tired. Yeah, I think he
Is
needs
he tired of writing in his journal? Like, what is he tired?
He needs a break. Somebody needs to get this guy a snack. We're eating all his snacks. Sorry, not sorry.
That's right.
But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I don't feel bad for him.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, so I guess we'll go to the meal then. See you later, Lord Ruler.
Yeah. Peace. Sorry, buddy. All right, 26 main entree jumping in with Vin. It's been 2 weeks since she and Kelsier made it to the caves in one day and saved the rest of their army. Pewter Dragon.
Yeah.
Not the Pewter Dragon. But that would be
confused.
fucking cool too.
That'd be a cool bar.
Yeah.
Probably were ham drinks.
Yeah. Oh, you got sleeves on? You can't come in.
Yep. Not allowed in the Pewter Dragon.
Yeah. So
that's good.
So it's been 2 weeks, and it took them actually 2 weeks to get back with the remnants of the army. So they obviously were able to make the trip in one day, less than really, and then on the way back, it took them with everybody, 2 weeks. So she has a splitting headache. She is feeling pretty shitty, and we're coming to find out that pewter dragging and really dragging, I guess, other metals as well can really cause some ill side effects and make you feel really bad. So she's waking up, she's not feeling great, but Kelsier, when they had gotten in that night, had filled everybody else in on kind of what had happened. And then she goes downstairs this morning now, and Clubs, Docs, and Ham and Breeze are hanging out. They're having their morning meal. And everyone's like, hey, Ven, what's going on? They can kind of tell that she's not her full self. And, they were just discussing the status of the plan, which obviously hinged on having an army. And that the kind of, the status of everything and how basically it's unfeasible now, their plan. But they're asking her what she thinks, and she's very confused and is thinking, why do they even care what I think? And they're like, they can tell she's struggling and you want something to eat, Doxson says, and she's just like, ale. Which is an interesting, like for someone who probably hasn't drank a lot, I would think, in her time, not only was she not very old, but also if I'm someone who's trying to survive in the underworld or in the streets as an urchin, as a, basically this nobody trying not to be seen and not to be beat, I wouldn't want to diminish my senses by getting drunk with the crew around, especially a bunch of dudes that probably want to do bad things. So, it's not like, I can't see it here being this thing where she's like, oh, you wake up with a splitting headache and from the hangover you have, and so you just are like, oh, let's just keep it going,
Right.
So I'm not sure why she's feeling this way. Maybe she just wants something to soothe her.
I think she's fronting. She's just like, I'm this like tough Mistborn. Like I drink ale. Eat, I don't eat. Like, where's the beer? And she's kind of this like almost reverting, because I hear what you're saying, like, yeah, she probably wouldn't want to diminish her senses, but at the same time, like, in the criminal underworld, like, it's illegal, or whatever, we don't even know if it's illegal to drink as a Scot at a young age, but, assuming it is, like, it's something that she's, like, not forbidden to do, so she does it anyways, and, like, is, like, a sign of, anti-authoritarian things like that, kind of sticking it to it. So I also thought it was interesting that she's like ale as the first thing, but I think it's just like this part of Vin's personality that is it's kind of like coming out because she's so tired. Her like guards are down a little bit, so I think it's just like this deeper part of her, just like I'm a thug too.
Yeah, I'm one of you.
Yeah.
Well, right. I mean, she displays some signs of like a hangover, which I mean, I guess her head's throbbing. It makes sense where she puts her head on the table, like in her folded arms, and you know, Ham's asking, pewter drag, like I've been there, and he's like, it'll pass, and she's like, yeah, if I don't die first. So it's just good there, and then they continue to ask, hey, what do you think? And she's again still confused here, but she's pretty open, and I think we've kind of seen in some of the things that she said, like they have taken her word and like either added it directly into the plan or have changed things that they were going to do to fit. Like she's very smart and I think is thinking a lot more critically than some of these dumb boys are. Like,
yeah, totally.
Like they are just like, oh what do you think? And then she's like in this instance, she's saying that, okay, so like the army's gone and like the soldiers are gone. So the only thing that we really need for the plan is for Marsh and his ministry and Kel's attacks on the nobility. Everybody else on the chalkboard, Breeze, Ham, Yeadon, they all had something, Doxson, Renault, like they all had something to do pretty much with the army. And now that the army's pretty much gone, like the crew's redundant is what she says.
The rest of them kind of, not her.
Oh yeah. And everyone gets silent and they say, you have a blunt way of putting things. And so she's very upfront and open about how she feels and kind of where things stand until Kelsier gets there. So Kelsier sweeps into the kitchen and he is acting like it's any normal day. He's his cheerful self. He's smiling and wisping around. Yeah, like he's very much himself here. And Doxson tries to reason with him right off the bat, like, we need to talk. The army's gone. And he's like, yes, I noticed. And, and he's like, yeah, we've had a setback, true, but, we're not done here, guys. And, Breeze is not about it. And, how can you not care? And Kelsier's like, oh, I do care. Like, we need to move on. And Breeze is like, yeah, move on from this insane job. Not just like, everyone's trying to reason with him and he's not having any of it. He's just kind of placating and almost like ignoring really their worries, here.
Right.
Not even placating, just really ignoring them. But as Breeze says this, Kelsier sets his plate back down on the counter, I would imagine with some oomph here, and says, don't soothe me, Breeze.
Yeah.
Never, in italics, soothe me. So that's, pretty bold and ballsy on Breeze, and obviously Kelsier's good enough with this here to kind of figure it out and
probably bronze, right?
Sense that, yeah.
He's probably matching that, using his bronze to see what he's doing to him. Yeah, Seeker bronze, nice.
Yeah, so it's it's interesting here how he is certainly good enough with that to sense what's going on, or he just can, even if he's not using it, maybe he just feels himself changing, or like he feels enough of a change to how he was feeling to recognize that something's going on. Because I think we've seen that too without the allomancy.
Yeah, for sure.
But then it quickly jumps into, oh yeah, hey, there's spooks running in. He's like, there's there's a, like he's saying, on? And I actually understood this one. So the quote is, willing the care and upping to see, a gathering in the fountain square. I was able to parse this out, and he's saying, like, if you care to get up and see, or like if you care to come, there's a gathering in the fountain square, is what I think he's saying.
Yeah, willing the care. I like it. Yeah, dude, nice. We're translating.
I'm speaking spook. Yeah. Hooked on phonics style.
Hooked on phonics, dude. Yes, dude. Oh my god. Hooked on alloys. We're speaking Mistborn talk here.
So we get a little bit of a time warp to them heading out to the Fountain Square here to see what's going on. And it's basically the whole group, Kelsier, Ham, Breeze, everybody's going. And the reason that they're going to the square is for executions. Anytime there's a big gathering like this, that's what that means. And we get some good Lord Ruler world building Luthadel info about how anytime there's executions, all the men that are Ska have to attend.
Yeah.
Like obligators will go into every like house, and probably not everyone, but houses, mills, factories, whatever they can. Anybody that's in there, they either kick them out and make them go, or they just kill them for not showing up. Period. So like,
right.
Everyone's got to go, and there's no way that all the people in the entire city is going to fit. And so basically, they crowd the square, like they're packed in like sardines, but then like down all the streets, like the spoke of a wheel, like into the main square.
Right.
It's just full of people too, and like people at the back can't even see what's going on, but they're still made to stand there.
They're witnessing together, right?
And
they're feeling the energy,
and it's all about keeping them down.
Well, I think I definitely agree, and I think we'll get to it a little bit later, but I think it's also about putting them all in the same place, a place that is within a certain radius, maybe, or a certain range. I think it's intentional for that as well. And we'll get to...
Which we'll see that too.
Exactly, I think we will. But I just, I don't know, I wanted to speak up because I got really excited. In my head, I see this scene of them, they're going down the street, it's the full gang, walking together in a street in public, right? Like we've never seen that before, and so I just hear bells ringing, in the background, heavy music, the gang walking down the street, Ham without his sleeves on, Breeze looking a little out of place, probably perturbed, probably a little pissed off, Kelsier walking, hopefully covering his arms. I don't remember. We'll see.
I think so.
Just the whole, the whole gang. There's Spook and Clubs.
Yeah.
Kind of Spook kind of shuffling around in the background,
scampering around.
Exactly. Vin probably walking with Kelsier at this point. I think she
I think so.
Yeah, it's feeling that place.
They're
so I don't know. If the art director for the adaptation of whatever media this ends up becoming for the Mistborn movie, consider it. It'd be dope.
Just give us a chance.
Little Metallica. Da-na-na-na. No, just kidding. Yeah.
So they're walking to this main square. They push their way through the crowd. People are kind of pissed. Some people see Kelsier and excited. Some are surprised that he's there. People, I'm assuming, have surely heard about the army and how people have died, and so I think they recognize him, and some are surprised, some are excited, some are probably even angry, but they all move aside, and he finds a building right there in the square to kind of force his way into. He's like, Doxson, pay the man, and Doxson, pays this guy, and they all get up on the roof and have the rooftop to themselves overlooking the square. And Clubs is smoking them up there. So they've got this nice little protection bubble so they can all use their different powers if they so choose without risk of being seen. And, here we go. It's time to see what's going on with these executions. And so there's a big platform in the middle. There's Inquisitors, 8 Inquisitors are standing, which is a lot. I think we had read that there were only 20 total in the entire entire Final Empire. 10 stay in Luthadel, and the other 10 are out and about. Right. And so for 8 of them to be here, that means there's only 2 in the break room in Credit Shaw, where Kelsier keeps getting found. The Credit Shaw break room. That's. I'm still going with that.
How many days? How many days since Kelsier was found? Talia.
Yeah. They just keep going up and up.
Since a workplace accident.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so they got these Inquisitors there, but then there's also they're all standing up above the obligators. There's a whole crew of obligators hanging around, and Vin recognizes one as her father, and she points him out to Kelsier in the group because last time she had talked about seeing her father at the Lord or at the Venture Ball when that was her first ball, and she had seen her father there, who Reen had pointed out to her when they were young. So everyone was like, okay, next time you see him, point him out to us because we want to know who he is. And so she does so, and Kelsier falls silent, is like, oh, that's him, and it's Tavidian. That's a new name, Tavidian, and he is the Lord Praelin.
Whoa.
And Vin's like, what? Who's that? And Breeze just laughs. He's like, oh, he's just the leader of the entire ministry, the most important of the Lord Ruler's obligators. Technically, he even ranks higher than the Inquisitors. And so he is like pretty much kind of the number 2 man in the entire Final Empire, basically, from what I'm gathering. I don't know the Lord Ruler to have some other
person
sidekick running around with them. I think he's kind of the guy.
Yeah. Also dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yep. So it's and I was kind of wondering, because I couldn't remember what happened. Do we know what happened to Kelsier's dad? Do we get that bit of info? Because when I first read this, I was like, oh, they're gonna be brother and sister. But
yeah, no, right.
Wouldn't that have been cool?
That would have been cool. Yeah, no, I don't know if he dies. I don't know, because Marsh talks about their mom, and we know that. I know that I remember, but
and we can find it later.
I'll have to look.
Yeah. I can't remember.
I love it. Nice. Many secrets, many questions. Who's Kelsier's dad? Yeah, good question.
So they are they're still up on the roof, and Spook points out that there's something happening down one of the streets leading to the square here, and people are pulling back, and there's a large corridor, and then they can't really see what's going on yet, but Vin starts to feel something, and I highlighted the whole thing here. An oppressive numbness, like a massive blanket pressing down, choking away her air, stealing her will. She immediately burned copper, yet, like before, she swore that she could still feel the Lord Ruler's soothing, despite the metal. And she sensed him coming closer, and he's trying to make her lose all will, all desire, all strength of emotion. So very obviously I think we've seen this a little before when they went into Creditshaw. Vin felt like the entire place felt wrong, and that she could basically feel the Lord Ruler even outside. And so, but this is obviously more intense. And she, obviously he is using the most powerful soothing here.
Yes.
And Breeze even comments that at his best, he can only soothe a couple hundred men, and that there are obviously tens of thousands, if not more, people there.
Right.
And Spook says something weird, not weird, but I mean, it makes sense for what's going on here. It makes me want to fall, to just let go. Yeah. And his voice kind of trails off. But Vin feels something. Something changes. And so she extinguishes her copper and realizes that she can't really feel what the Lord Ruler was soothing anymore. And she's kind of glancing around, trying to figure out. All the ska below kind of look the same. But she finds Kelsier, and she realizes that he's riding the group's emotions, trying to basically fight back and counteract the Lord Ruler's power.
Defiance.
And it's a big struggle for him. He's really fighting hard with this. And so she joins the fight. Yeah. And she, turns on her copper first, but then burns zinc and reaches out to help Kelsier. And he obviously can feel the relief and kind of gives her a, a thank you look. Yeah, it's pretty cool that he's doing that for the group. And just, it's like this mental game, I'm not going to let you do this to me or my people.
Absolutely. Yeah. And just absolute defiance, he hates the Lord Ruler, he hates the Final Empire, He hates everything this guy stands for, and like he is just like, I will not let you do this to me or my people around me, or as many people as he could possibly, like he's defying in the impossible. Essentially, is like
Right.
he will not be back down just because no one else thinks it's possible. I love it.
Right. That's great. So Clubs responds to Spook. Spook asks him, "Hey, Uncle," which I don't know if we knew he was like
So
they were uncle and nephew.
From
like I know
beginning,
that
first chapter first chapter
we
that
see
we meet
him.
them, we see him and we know it's his nephew.
Oh, we do.
They mention
Okay.
it. Yeah, he brings the boy. Then we
Okay.
this is my nephew.
Okay.
Don't know much more than that because there's some other good stuff here with
Okay.
Spook. But yeah, I'm pretty sure.
And so this is where we find out. He says, "Hey, Uncle, like, you're really burning, right? Like, you're really smoking us out." And he said, "Yes, my copper's on." And then Spook nods, and he begins burning tin.
Yeah.
Which I don't think we definitely. I don't believe we knew that he was a 10.
Almost spoiled it the other day. We were talking, and you had made a comment about this last episode, I think, where you were like, "Yeah, Vin's like learned from these experts of like this and this," and I was like, and you had said everything but
Right.
Tin Eye, and I was like, "Oh yeah, like like there's another one that she could learn from," and then you were like, "Oh, huh," and I was like, "Oh well, Clubs keeps like a bunch of Tin Eyes around because he keeps lots of Tin Eyes around in his complex."
He does, yeah.
For security. So like I kind of got a little bit got away with it, but I didn't spoil it, but I was close. That was a tough one. Cause yeah, he's a Tin Eye. I was like, oh, Mare was the Tin Eye.
Yeah. That's good, dude.
So,
you did good.
Oh god, I almost
Pulled
fucked
it
up.
around.
Yeah, but anyways,
Hey.
it's a great reveal.
Hey, almost isn't.
I scoured looking to make sure it wasn't revealed earlier. You're absolutely right. It was right here. I was prepared for this moment. All right, we're here. Yeah, I love it. It's so exciting.
So
to see.
It's cool. It's cool that he's in the group, and I think obviously he's going to probably start to play a bigger role.
I hope so.
Which would be very cool to see.
I don't know. Just kidding.
We'll see. The Lord Rulers. He's got basically a chariot that's pulling him, a big black chariot pulled by these white horses. Behind him are all these prison carts. So it's basically these carts being pulled or pushed. It doesn't really say, but they're coming in and they got bars, like it's almost like circus animals, like going down the street is how I envision it.
Me too.
Yeah,
just terribly inhumane.
Oh yeah, and they pull into the square. Everyone's anyone that can is using their allomancy to try to look closer to see who is this. Like, are the prisoners soldiers? Are they they're soldiers from the rebellion? Are they the family of the soldiers? And because Kelsier says it's mostly women and children, and Ham's thinking like obviously he's got a family, and like, oh no, but Kelsier's like, no, like the Lord Ruler doesn't know or even care that most of the men from this were recruited from Luthadel. He probably just assumes it was another countryside rebellion. This is all about just reminding people who's in control. So it's just random people that he's gathered.
So bad.
To be like here we go. Like, you guys want to fuck around? Now you're going to find out.
The Skav will suffer.
Everybody.
Like, all Skav will suffer because of this. Like, it's awful.
And so, yeah, I mean, it basically begins, right? Like, an Inquisitor is directing the work and gesturing, prisoners and obligators to pull the prisoners out and some soldiers here and bring them up towards the fountains in the middle. Yeah. And 4 at a time, they bring them up. And Inquisitors raised obsidian axes. So that's another thing here, not metal. The only other bit of obsidian I can remember right now is a little piece that Vin had found amongst Reen's things that he had left when he took off.
Interesting.
And so we've had some theories, I think, in the past about obsidian and why it's important. And obviously, if it's not metal, it can't be pushed or pulled.
Correct.
But don't exactly know why they're using that here and what significance that might have. But 4 at a time, they're coming up. The axes are felling, and they're shearing the heads clear off. And so I wanted to bring this up. I highlighted it a little later, but I wanted to bring it up now. That as we were reading this passage, in between their thoughts and the missives of the group. Kelsier's talking, Finn's talking, whatever. There's all these interjections right in the middle of 4 more deaths.
Yeah.
And then they'll talk for a little bit more, and then 4 more deaths. And I think it's
one
really
of them
good.
a child. It adds these little pieces where it's it's a cadence almost of the axe coming up and swinging down, right? And the statement comes, and then
throw the bodies off, file the next group up. And so I think it's a good literary tool that he's using here to interject not only a timeline into the conversation, but also to, I think, reinforce and drive home that hey, just like that, snap, 4 more people, 4 more ska murdered. And what's that?
Oh yeah,
4 more ska murdered. Oh, and what are you guys talking about? Doesn't matter, because 4 more ska murdered.
Right.
Right. And so I think
they weren't able to stop it. They weren't able to do anything, right? Because I love this part too. I mean, it's a brutal part, but Spook, he looks up to Kelsier so much, you can tell, because he looks over to Vin and he's like, he says a pretty good Luthadelian, all right, so English, whatever they call it. But he's like, why doesn't Kelsier do something, to saving them? I mean, he almost nails it out. But he thinks that Kelsier can stop this, and Vin's like, are you crazy, man? You don't even get what's going on.
Are you crazy, man?
And then the rhythm of it, kind of just takes over, right? It's repetitive. It's this beat, and they can't do anything about it. It's coming. Man, the Black Axes. I mean, if it even doesn't do anything functionally, I think it's just sends such a vicious and evil vibe to it. Yeah, it's I love the way this part was written. It spoke to me.
It definitely,
chapter.
Yeah, I think it brings out a lot, emotionally here. So as it's not just for us but for Kelsier, he starts shouting at the group. Look at them. Look at what the nobility are doing, and specifically the nobility, or not all, but a large group of nobles are sitting in bleachers, watching this basically like it's a sporting event,
right? Laughing, joking,
pretty nasty stuff. And Vin is looking urgently with her eyes, her 10 enhanced eyes, to see Ellen, and she finds him. He's with a group of young men. And none of them were laughing, but they weren't the only ones. Because true, many were making light of the experience, but there were a minority, who looked truly horrified.
Who dat?
So, who dat? Kelsier
doesn't
continues.
care.
He doesn't care about that. He's going to murder you anyway, Ellen. Sorry, buddy. That's my guess. And Vin's going to be pretty upset. They might get into a little tiff over that one.
So they get along with that one.
Kelsier continues. He goes on this diatribe of yes, I know you guys had concerns and you questioned me, but if we're this is what we need to stop. This is why we why we can't stop. This is why we need to continue. So this can't keep happening. That these people can't just continue to be slaughtered and oppressed. And he's like, if you guys walk away now, you're just going to be ignoring this. The struggle's going to go on, and men are still going to die.
Right.
And so he continues, and he's like, I'm stopping that, as he points to what's going on. And so they all kind of fall silent and are pretty much just listening. And he says, okay, if you're going to follow me from here out, here going forward, you have to no matter what happens, I need your confidence. You have to trust me. There's no more questioning me. I didn't choose you because you were competent people. I chose you because of your reputations for honesty and charity, and I knew that if I were going to succeed, I would need people who actually cared. So it's time to care. This isn't for glory. You have to stop questioning me. If you stay, you follow me. Period. I mean,
it's pretty intense, right? That's a pretty big ask. I think Breeze, of all the folks too, is a pretty, as much as he's a dick sometimes, he is pretty logical, and he is always thinking about keep protecting himself, the lives of the crew too, but definitely himself first. I think that's a big ask of Breeze. Cam, he's the philosopher oxymoron, right? The philosopher thug. He doesn't necessarily think like every fight's the right fight. So, yeah, I it really caught my attention because I think you've been doing like a good job of like picking up on like Kelsier, right? Is he's interesting in the fact that he's like one of our main protagonists, but like is he a good guy? Like is everything that he does like the right thing? And like I mean his intentions are good, but like who is Kelsier? Like what is he from a like I don't know psychological perspective? I mean, telling everybody to listen to him without question. That's questionable.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna see some of that. I got some exciting stuff to bring up in the next chapter.
Oh, cool!
That I think is kind of along those lines.
Nice. Well, I'm glad I brought it up. Then little snack,
dude. I'm so happy. It's a little snack. So Kelsier points in like to the gates, and he's like, "What do you guys see there?" It's like, it's just the gates. They're maybe understaffed, and he's like, "Why are they understaffed?" And he goes, "Because the garrison's gone." And so basically he starts to go out like, hey, part one of our plan to take the city has already been accomplished. Yes, did all of our entire army basically get murdered and just completely wiped off the battlefield to do it? And was that a little more than what we were expecting? Sure. But like the plan is moving forward. So like just put behind us our epic failure and just look forward at what we've got to look forward to.
Plan's
the
going.
rest of the plan is in motion.
Yeah, we're going.
And so the next step up is the house wars. So we want to get the like the chaos going in Luthadel. The houses fighting each other, and that's kind of what we're looking for. And Kelsier specifically uses a phrase here because Bree says, Kelsier says like, when the house wars start, we're gonna use chaos to seize the palace. And Breeze is like, with what, like how? We don't. Again, the army's gone, and Kelsier's like, well, we got some people left. We can recruit some more, but however, that won't be an issue. The smaller numbers won't be an issue. You see, that garrison is going to return eventually, and the members of the group are kind of like looking around and. Like, they don't really know what he means by that statement. And Ham's like, yeah, that's what we're exactly saying to you. Like, the garrison's coming back, and we're not going to have this big army. And then the kind of probably newer part of the plan, or maybe what Kelsier's kind of thinking here, starts to coalesce. And he's like, but we will have the Lord Ruler's treasury. And what are all these soldiers? Ham already talked about it. They're mercenaries, right? They're here for the money. They're just ska. They don't really want to be working for the Lord Ruler, but they're just trying to uplift themselves, uplift their families, have a job, make money. Right. And so if they control the money, if they've taken the ministry and taken the ATM and whatever stores of gold or coins or whatever they can, now they're paying the mercenaries to work for them.
Right. Yeah. He humanizes them, really. I mean, instead of because look at it, like, the way he paints the target on the nobility's back and the Lord Ruler. But he's like, you know what? The soldiers, like, that just killed our whole army, they're humans. Like, they didn't want to do that. We can turn them to our side. Yeah, I love that. He can really shine a turd. So,
oh yeah, he's buffing it like Joe Dirt.
Yes,
you know what
I mean? Joe Dirt. Dirt don't hurt, baby.
Yeah, crazy. So Vin, they're basically like he ends this here, and Vin looks back, and the one thing we haven't discussed is with all these executions is that the fountains have all turned red with the blood of all these people that they're killing, and she's seeing that, and she's obviously feeling some kind of way when she looks at this, and she's looking at the carriage, the Lord Ruler's carriage, and the windows are open, and with her tent, she could barely see a silhouetted figure sitting within. Our first look, if I mind you, that wasn't a logbook translation of the Lord Ruler in the flesh. Or maybe not the flesh. Maybe he's a robot. I don't know. Something.
The Lord Ruler.
Yeah.
We don't know. What is he? Is he a flesh or is he not? I don't know. Good questions.
I don't know.
Good questions.
And but she ends this chapter here by saying she agrees that they have to find a way to defeat him. Otherwise, everything else they're doing will be pointless.
Yeah. Yep. I love it.
And
I
that
mean, you know,
that
metal.
wraps out 26.
Yeah, man. Before we move on, I really love that chapter. I think it was like a theatrical chapter for me. It's like our. Is it the first time we see the Lord Ruler? I mean, definitely the first time we see him, but even like the presence of him, and it hits home, dude. It's heavy. So
Super heavy.
yeah, I think it's a great chapter. First chapter of part 4, Dancers
Part 4.
in a Sea of Mist. Not chapter 9, part 4. We like chapter 9. But now we're reading chapter 27. Oh no, sorry. Did you have any thoughts on chapter 26? Tell me.
Well,
Any vibes?
27 is just a 9
9 part
to
2?
the third.
9/3? Oh, wait.
No, that's not right. 9 times 3.
Nah, sure is.
Not
so,
9 to the third. That was pretty bad.
Oh, no, yeah, no, I'm smelling what you're stepping in. Yeah,
Dude.
I think we're there, dude. Yeah, times 3, 9, divided by, we're here. Here we go.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting how, like, I mean, obviously we have I had this thought when I was reading this, and like obviously they're starting over with their plan. Not even starting over; they're just kind of like moving forward with it. But
Progressing.
in a sense, it's kind of starting over. And
Sure.
like I'm kind of thinking about how like okay, yeah, we've had a lot of character growth in the last 20 chapters since they laid out this plan, and like there's been a lot of like world building, great, but like also everything that they've been working towards in the last 20 chapters basically is just done. And they're just kind of like they're just kind of starting over or be like, yeah, we don't the army you just wasted 20 chapters reading about that. Don't worry about that. We don't need to talk about that. And I was like, what the fuck, man?
You're a little disappointed. You were invested. You were like, you wanted this plan to succeed. Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah, I mean, I think definitely like when you start reading the book, right, you're getting really invested. Chapter 9, come on, who doesn't get invested in that? But but I think what I do think is that like it's kind of like a fresh slate, but they're trying to build on the ashes, right? And it just kind of the ashes. I like that I said that because it just kind of goes to show like the ska are just getting knocked down, and it's like that same rhythm of the axes, man. Like they just keep getting knocked down and knocked down and knocked down. So I hope that you enjoy the end of the book. I'm not neither going to say nor deny whether or not they keep getting knocked down or they get up again. But you're never going to keep them down.
I was just going to say, tub thumping.
Tub thumping, baby.
Chumbawamba.
But yeah, man, I'm loving it.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah, I'm here for
it.
And
speaking of I'm loving it, it's time for another snack, McDonald's style.
Oh, McDonald's style. Not a sponsor. No, thank you.
Not a sponsor.
But we having a snack, Would you like an apple pie with that?
So we are back in the Lord Ruler's logbook here. Basically, he thinks he knows why Rashek resents him so much, and that basically he thinks that he's an outsider and a foreigner, and Rashek doesn't think that someone like him could possibly be the hero of ages.
Yeah, I just liked for the snack. I just liked about the attention it paid to like him being a foreigner and like fighting the fact that like the True Blood stuff. I thought that was very interesting. Where it's like essentially it's saying that the Lord Ruler is not a Terraceman. Like, and that I thought that was interesting.
I'm with it.
I'm with it. All right, mealtime. Chin chin.
You ready? Let's do it.
Dude, I'm ready.
So, the group is subdued. They're on their way back to Club Shop. It's the same evening as all of the executions. Those executions had lasted for hours, so you can just do the math. As they're having those conversations, maybe every 15, I would say maybe every like 30 seconds, another 4 going. And, let's say hours is 3 or 4 hours.
It's like hundreds of people.
8 people a minute. 8 times 60 times 4, it gets pretty crazy pretty quick. And it's not just men, which is obviously bad, but it's women, children.
It's like almost 1,000 people.
Yeah, it's crazy. Um, and once all of the captives were gone, the Lord Ruler and his obligators rode away, and they just left the pile of corpses on the platform with the bloodied water running in the fountain. No denunciations, no explanations, just the executions. Um, but then she's not even thinking about her headache. She's saying that her pain now seems insignificant to the pain that she probably feels for the ska and the pain that collectively they all feel together, right?
Yeah.
This is basically, we're seeing 27 is similar to 9
Oh,
because it's a multiple of 9, but also because this is basically Chalkboard 2.0.
I know. New chalkboard. We got a new one. I totally agree. Oh my god. We're going to be talking about 27 just as much as we talked about 9.
People are going to get so confused.
Did. I know. Well, just, hang in there. It's
Good
3
thing,
digits.
good thing we're here to guide them through it.
I know. Yeah, just click reverse on the episode a little bit. Chapter 9 times 3, 27. Let's go.
Correct. And so, Breeze and Kelsier and the group are all talking here about how are they going to move forward, and that the House War is basically paramount because, if you need to seize the treasury with only a few thousand soldiers that we have left, you're going to really need something to distract the palace guards and to keep the nobility from taking the city away from us. And so Kelsier's like, yep, that's exactly what's going on. And he says that he doesn't want the House War to ever end, and that if they can get enough people fighting each other that and like basically get the Skull workers to not work, that the government's going to collapse on its own, and that like whatever pieces are left are going to either be fighting each other, or they can put these other pieces back together, and basically how they see in their own vision. And so they're going to put financial strain on the great houses, Doxson says, and they decide that between Doxson and Breeze, it's time for them to both get in the game here. They're going to use some of their aliases and step up, and they're not going to go to parties like Vin, but I think they're going to have some one-on-ones with different nobility to kind of sow some dissent and kind of start playing the game from some different angles. Not just Vin here with this. And so Vin is also getting more in on the action. Not only is she going to spy, but it's time for her to start pumping out some misinformation. Definitely some spy games, house games, crazy stuff going on, like full frontal assault against the nobility. Breeze says that basically only after the powerful houses are gone are people going to realize that they were the ones supporting like the economy and supporting the final empire, and that the room falls quiet here for a second, and then several heads turn towards Vin, and she's kind of like what, what are you talking about? Because he had said, if we can make the most powerful houses look vulnerable, then their enemies will be quick to strike. And they're like, yeah,
need Vin to do that.
Venture, Lord Venture, like the biggest house, like
your boyfriend.
Yeah. It's like this awkward, like everyone's kind of like, the elephant in the room. We need you to. We all know you like this guy, but
the elephant in the room, if you will.
Oh, the elephant.
I'm going down for that one.
That one's a stretch, but
I went for it.
Keep on.
Yeah,
you did. No one's gonna fault you for trying.
I still pushed, buddy.
Yeah,
I was going for it.
You probably should have pulled. So they're asking her to basically use Elend to see if he can talk about his house's finances, and they want to get a bit of leverage here. And once she can find something, basically, Breeze and Doxson, the group will take care of the rest. So a knock comes at the door. Says it's here. Took him a while to get there, but he's here now. He's actually early, and he says, I try to make a habit of it, and which is obviously a straight dig. Doxson jumps right in it as well, and he's like, that's a habit someone else could afford to pick up, and it's just kind of good there.
It is good.
And so they're going to keep the soldiers that are left, the 2,000 men, in Luthadel in squads, hidden. They're going to train them in their small groups, and they're going to actually try to recruit basically twice as much, another 2,000, and Kelsier thinks that they can do so because everyone just saw what happened in the square and people are going to be upset. And that's going to basically make people willing to listen to the group. And we get the timeline here, basically the next couple months, like basically in 2 months' time, they want the city to be so tense that when it finally breaks, the Lord Ruler won't be able to hold it. Yeah. Kelsier asks Sazed if the note's here, and it's a message from Marsh saying he's in the city and he has news that it's time to meet tonight. So Kelsier grabs his miss cloak and it's like, "Come on, Vin, let's go." And like, so they're in it together, right? Like it's it's like Batman and Robin.
We're
like
back.
They're doing it.
The Bat's back, baby.
Yeah,
so good.
And then it's another little bit of a time warp. We're moving forward, and Vin and Kelsier are in the twists, which I can't remember if we had heard of the twist. Basically, it's the worst of the worst ska slums.
I don't think we have. I like
a quick search.
I like the reference.
Yes. Nope. We have not.
Okay.
No. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I liked it. It was a nice little bit of world building, right? Like it's got this, this kind of brutal name, twists.
Super brutal.
Sounds awful.
Yeah. So we are in. It's one of the most impoverished ska slums, and they are in a vacant warehouse overlooking the other vacant warehouse where Marsh said to meet tonight. And Vin basically just starts in on Kelsier, like she's saying, "Hey, like,
what aren't you telling him?
What are you hiding from us?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? There's something you're not telling me." And she's saying, like, "You're still planning to get the Lord Ruler out of the city before we try to take the palace, right?" He's like, "Don't worry about him. I got him. The 11th medal." And he clearly does not have it. Everything he says here is so like fucked. Yeah. He's like, she's like, "Is the medal real?" And he's like, "Yeah, I showed it to you, remember?" And she's like, "Well, okay. Number one, that could have been any bit of metal. Like, totally. Just first off, like," and then she's like, "No, that's not what I mean. Like, are the legends real or are you lying?" And he kind of frowns at her and he's like, "You're very blunt. Again, we've heard this. We know." And
Peter
like,
Dragon
"No, I'm
does
not
that
lying."
To you.
She's like, "I'm not." He's like, "I'm not lying. The legends are real. I just took some time to find." And she goes, "And that bit of metal you showed us is really it?" And he's like, "Well, I think so." And it's like, what the like? Are you kidding me here?
Yeah.
And she's like, "But you don't know how to use it." And that's when he's like, "No, okay, you got me. I don't." And she's like, "That's not very comforting." And so he's basically was hoping that this entire time they were going to discover in the book, what was going on, with the metal. And Kelsier talks about how while Lord Ruler's a powerful allomancer, that he's just a man. And while there's obviously some stuff going on there, but that they should be able to basically take him out. And Vin's like, "Well, he's not a god, but he is something." And she brings up that today in the square, she could feel his touch on her emotions even when she was burning the copper. And Kelsier's like, "That's not possible." So this is where I want to get. I almost brought it up last chapter. I decided to save it for this chapter. I didn't think about it while I was reading, but when we were talking today, I thought about this. So Vin's dad is the head, the head obligator, right?
Sure.
Basically, numero 2. What if he's not her dad? What if the Lord Ruler's her dad?
What, dude?
Right? So, like, if she's the only one that's feeling all kinds of weird stuff around him, like even Kelsier, who's a very powerful, one of the most powerful ska Mistborn that has probably ever lived, powerful enough to basically do all the shit that he's doing here. Right. And he's like, "No, that's not possible, Vin. Like, you didn't feel what you were saying you felt." But she's feeling it, like, not only at the palace, but also here.
Yeah.
Like, what if, for whatever reason, they either had the wrong information about the obligator and that guy being her dad, or, maybe he was supposed to take the ska woman who the Lord Ruler slept with and, like, toss her to the side, but that's, I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm just throwing that theory out there that maybe it's the Lord Ruler.
I like
and she it's the offspring
It's
of that crazy guy.
very interesting theory. Yeah, no, I love it, dude. And we'll see. Yeah, man. As like I said, another pathway illuminates.
Yeah.
You just got to read and find out.
Yep, a lot of diverging paths.
Yeah, no, I like it. I agree. Has that though, man. That's fun. That's a really cool thought.
Thanks, buddy.
That's dope.
Thanks. She's thinking here, like, because Kelsier's kind of like, hey, like he's strong, and you feel like you should still be able to sense him, and so you do. Like, it's basically a what's that called? Why can't I think of it? Like a placebo effect almost.
Sure.
And she's thinking, okay, well, he's done this a lot longer than me. He's been an Alamancer for longer than I have. Like, maybe he's right. But then she third guesses her second guess by saying, but I did feel something. Like,
yeah,
and that Inquisitor that nearly killed me, somehow he found me in the darkness and in the rain. And he must have sensed something there.
So what's going on?
And so there's something special about her.
Yeah, there is.
I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And,
yeah, something's going on.
But she drops it.
She's definitely sensing things that he is confirming he is not, right? And like that for sure is fact. She is sensing things and picking up on things that he's definitely missing. So yeah, but I just liked what you had to say about how his plan, here it's like all predicated off of fucking bullshit. He doesn't know, and well, the funniest thing I was saying as you said it, like, the book wasn't even a part of Chapter 9. The book was an accident. Vin fucking grabbed it when they were there on their, like, impromptu psycho suicide mission. And, like, I just think it's funny that, like, now his whole plan is hinging on a possibility of Sazed, like, figuring it out. In the book, not even figuring it out. Translating what's there. Sazed's not deducing anything. He's just working, getting it translated. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of. I mean, so I'm gonna be for set. Kind of crazy. Yeah. Would you say like maybe crazy? Yeah.
Well, as it continues, she says, or she's asking about the 11th metal, and like he's like, oh, like what I said about metals that are mixed wrong or something. You eat them, and she's like, oh, it's gonna kill you, right? This 11th metal. That's why he hasn't tried it yet. And she thinks, okay, so you're not as certain as you pretend.
Right.
Like, otherwise you would have tried it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know that this is the 11th metal.
Yeah.
The logbook doesn't mention Alamancy at all, but it does mention ferrochemy, which Kelsier's like, oh, like, Sazed told you about that? And she's like, I forced him to. And she asks him a little bit about it, and he does kind of offhanded just tell her, like, it stores up
some cool
attributes
stuff.
and they're all stored separately. It enhances a lot of other things too. Things that Alamancy can't, like memory and physical speed, clarity of thought, some strange things like physical weight or physical age can also be
I love those
altered.
Too. Yeah, I love those too.
And so Ben's like, so it's more powerful. And he's like, well, no, like it's doesn't have any external powers like push or pull and steel push or iron pull.
Or soothing.
And you have to draw from your own body. And he's like, you want to be twice as strong for a time? You have to spend several hours being weak to store up that strength. You want to heal quickly? You have to spend a great deal of time being sick or feeling sick. And that, like, the metals are always your fuel and it's not just your own body. And Vin's like, oh, so you can steal someone else's storage metals? And he's like, nope, doesn't work that way. You can only access metals that they store themselves.
Yeah.
And so he's like, no, I wouldn't say it's more powerful than Alamancy. Like, they both have advantages. You can, an Alamancer can only flare so high, but a Therochemist can certainly, like, okay, I can run double as fast now. And it takes, I'm going to burn an hour.
Yeah.
But then maybe I'll go 4 times as fast and it'll be 15 minutes. And then maybe I'll go 10 times as fast and it'll be like 20 seconds,
Right.
So they can
ramp 100
up
times as fast
level.
for 1 second, 100 times faster. That's insane.
Oh.
There's nothing you could do as an Alamancer to stop that. You know what I mean? Like, you'd be screwed.
And Finn here says, like, that's a really pretty good advantage. And he's like, yeah, it's true. But, like, we have this, which he pulls out the ATM. So it doesn't matter if a ferrochemist is as strong as 5 men or as strong as 50. Like if we know what they're going to do next, we're going to beat them.
The future,
Um,
yeah.
and so Kelsier gives her some atium, and he's like, "You might need this tonight." And she's like, "Why? It's only Marsh." And he's like, "Okay, maybe he got kidnapped. Maybe they figured him out. Maybe he's dead, and they tortured him. And this is all, this is all a plot. We just don't know. So
right.
You got to be ready." And they kind of go back and forth here on some stuff. Kelsier's talking about the logbook and basically the Lord Rulers. He's frustrated with the text here, and that the Lord Ruler hasn't even told them what he's supposed to accomplish in the mountains, and that he claims he's doing something to protect the entire world, but that might just be his ego coming through. And Vin very clearly is like,
disagree.
He's not. Doesn't seem egotistical. Kind of the opposite. That's what she's thinking, which is, I think, a very interesting thing about Kelsier. Like, he's seeing this how he, I think, wants to see it, obviously, right? Like, he's putting his worldview and the lens that he's seen the world from, and all of his hate and pent-up aggression towards the Lord Ruler and the nobility, and applying it to this book, when Vin's kind of reading it as is, and taking it for, a little more perspective of, face value.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a great call out, and I'm glad you brought it up. It's a good italics of Vin's thought process there, because that's not something she openly confronts him about. She kind of just she's not willing to do that to him. She's just kind of here to listen. But as much as she looks up to Kelsier and wants to, I think she kind of emulates a little bit after him in some respects as a Mistborn and stuff. But she's willing to disagree with him and not going to take everything he says as fact.
Which I don't think she should. She definitely, I think, she definitely has these doubts, right, about Kelsier, and
totally.
She's talked about before, is he really just setting himself up to be the next Lord Ruler? Does he want to put himself in power? She just doesn't know.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to believe that, right?
A lot of the crew
she's having fun in this group, but yeah.
Oh, right. Well, for sure. She doesn't want to believe it either, right? Because I think she looks up to Kelsier and she appreciates him, and she's invested in him. I would say, significantly.
Yeah, he's a big brother.
Him and the crew, a good brother that she never
kind of
had.
Replaced Rain, yeah.
Well, in a lot of ways, yeah, and
an opposite,
healthier ways. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, it's healthier in some ways.
He almost got her killed.
Let's take you into Craddock Shaw.
Yeah, totally. I guess that wasn't very healthy. But he's not beating her or beating her down mentally as well.
But he will use her for anything he needs to kill the Lord Ruler. That's
yeah. I mean, definitely.
At least, that's what he talked about.
That? No, he's talked about it.
He said that.
He said it in his head.
Either in his mind or he said.
No, he said it in his head, but then he regretted it, right? It affected him deeply. So, I think you're not wrong. I don't think you're definitely right. He'll use anybody to get his means, but I also think he's a little torn on that because of his attachments to Vin being the daughter that him and Mare never had, and him kind of seeing her in that light.
Sure.
As well. So yeah, very complicated relationship to say the least. But yeah, I'm glad we're vibing on it.
Vin here is, after they're done talking about this, is oh, you know what? Speaking of the 10th metal, you never taught me about the 9th, which I've brought up multiple times to you. Hey, when are we going to learn about this 9th metal?
And I was I don't know.
Yeah.
Here we go. Dude. And we go. It's here it is.
It's weird.
Try some.
A weird one.
It's very weird and very interesting and something I'm interested about. Yeah, let's go. Let's dig in. Let's dive into the gold.
So
the gold mine here.
The gold mine, the gold rush, we're rushing to the 9th metal, which is gold, and Kelsier tells her, hey, it is gold. It's a very weird and uncomfortable experience when you burn it. It's not very useful, he doesn't believe, but, you can certainly try one day, and he can kind of tell that Vin's, smirking and, hey, you're gonna try this, right? You're gonna try it, even though I told you that you're not gonna really like it. And so he pulls out a gold coin and starts to just file it down. And he says, hey, it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to keep one of these, the
file.
Whether it's gold or I think he's talking about the file, but and then also for the coins, right? If you keep a copper coin or a bronze coin or something, as long as you are pretty confident that coin is a good makeup, you can use it. And he said, just remember, burning this is going to be
Have a feeling to it. A little sick.
It's going to have
worse than pewter dragging.
A strange experience.
Oh, the gold. Sorry. I thought you meant if it was diluted or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
if it's diluted or the wrong balance between two metals.
He talks about bad metals.
That can be bad. Yeah.
Fucking you up or killing you. But yeah, so we take the gold and we burn some gold.
So she burns it up, and she's in two places at once, right? She sees herself as a little girl, and then she's also seeing herself as a strange woman, but not just seeing them like in like a third party context. Like she is both of those, and like she's the little girl looking at the old lady, and she's the old lady looking at the little girl. And the woman's foolish and had forgotten many things about her survival, and she drinks from cups prepared by others, and hangs out with strangers and trusts people, and still pretty careful, but had lost so much. And the child, is thin, scrawny, lonely, hateful, untrusting, loves no one, loved by no one, and always told herself quietly that she didn't care. And life couldn't be as pathetic as it seemed, yet it had to be. There's nothing else. And like I said, Vin's both at the same time. And so she gasps and it's gone, right? Like she feels a sudden rush of emotions. She's so overwhelmed that she kind of almost collapses on the floor against the wall. And Kelsier's like, hey, yep, gold and atium are complements like the other metals. Atium lets you see marginally into the future, and gold lets you see into the past, but not really. It gives you a glimpse of another version of yourself had things been different in the past. So it's almost like these shards of your life. I don't know if that's a good use of that word because I don't know what that means.
Let's throw it in there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
But that's it's these branching paths of your life. Like if you would have made one different choice, like
fragmented pieces,
like
where
absolutely. It could have gone.
I love it.
So that's basically what he said she experienced.
But it's like the past looking at the present, where ATM is the future looking at the present in a way, right? Like you are in the present, you are seeing the future. I'm going to punch you right in your face, so you move to the left because you in the present realize that's going to happen. Where the past is like these are two different versions of you that could be you right now, depending on different circumstances, and I like.
But never could be, right? Though, or no?
Never could be. I think I'm not necessarily sure. Never could be, but it would be more of like never could have been. Right? It's not a future. It's not a future statement. It's a now statement based off of differences in the past. So, if she has stayed this, imagine the girl is stuck with Reem. Right? Stuck with Reen, continuously getting beaten down, But then the other girl is Vin in the cruise, and she starts to get a little bit more comfortable, and she goes up into the underworld, and it's this other path. Or, it's even something else. I'm not really sure, but yeah, gold is for many books confusing as fuck. And very interesting, and I'm loving our first interaction with it because I'm still trying to understand it a little bit better. So yeah, I'm digging it up, buddy. This is great.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not something but it's like this hallucination, right? Kelsier's saying to her here, it's not real, it's a hallucination. But she's like, I could have sworn, I was there,
Right.
And I think I liked how you had put it, where these two people are within Vin. I think it's like you said, almost like a butterfly effect, where only a couple things would have gone differently in alternate universes, where Reen doesn't leave, or where Kelsier doesn't join the crew, and the crew is fine, and Vin becomes a successful thief or something. These different alternate universes are kind of shown to you within that. They're still a part of you, right? Vin still has a little bit of that child in her, and a little bit of that, she just drank a cup from someone that just, poured it for her and stuff like that. So yeah, I like it.
Okay. So they kind of wrap up there. He says that no one really understands gold, according to him.
Yeah, I still don't.
No, no one does. And so then next thing you know, they see. He sees basically marsh.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, it's time to go. So he takes all of his metals out, puts it on the windowsill, and they go down the stairs to avoid, basically giving themselves away by jumping out the window, and they go into the next warehouse. So Marsh is in there. He can hear them come in. He's like, "Hey, Kelsier," and he's like, "Yep, it's me and Vin." And so they approach each other, and Marsh is tatted up like Mike Tyson.
Yeah, dude. He's an obligator now, man.
Yeah, so he got tattoos before he became an acolyte, before he met up with the caravan, and they not extensive tattoos, but they're dark lines rimming his eyes, running outward like crawling cracks of lightning.
Wow.
And there's a big single line, much thicker, and in a bright red running down the side of his face. And Vin recognizes it as a line of an obligator who belongs to the Canton of Inquisition, which is the most dangerous section of the ministry, according to Vin.
Whoa.
And Vin's like, "Wow, you're going to always have these? Like, you're fucked." It's like, yeah, that was part of the price. Like, he had to pay to infiltrate the ministry, Vin. Like, and he's like, "Yeah, it doesn't matter."
She's
like,
so blunt. You're fucked. Why would she do that?
It's pretty much what she said. That's what I read through the lines.
Same, dude. Me too.
And he's like, "I can't stay. Like, I live a busy life now. Like, the infiltration did go well, but he's distinguished himself too well. He's too good of an obligator. He knew too much about the ministry, better than most, if not all, of the other acolytes. So people are really, he's got this reputation now. And he told them that he was a seeker because the ministry seeks out seekers to join the ministry in the first place. And particularly the Canton of Inquisition, like I said, recruits seekers, and that they were happy to have him, even though his past was his background's kind of questionable. Like, they're like, "Oh, seeker, come on."
His story, his backstory.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, we don't care about that. Like, we just want your skills. Mm-hmm. And he is. Kelsier's like, "Hey, this is even going to help him get into more secretive ministry sects." Marsh quickly jumps on that as like, "Yes, the ministry's far more competent than we assumed."
This is
they use their mistines, good uses for them. Well, not good, but like they use them a lot. And then there's soothing stations all over the city, and that ministry soothers are on duty 24/7, dampening influence around them, calming and depressing emotions of everyone that walks by. What? And there's dozens of them, and they're all concentrated in the ska sections of the city. That all these soothers are better than even breezes. Each smoke section has each soothe section has a smoker that way they stay hidden, as well as a seeker to watch for passing alamancers. And so that's where they think a lot of the Inquisitors have gotten a lot of their leads over the years, because most people are smart enough not to burn when they know that there's an obligator in the area, but they're more lax in the slums.
Right.
So Kelsier's like, "Get me a list." And he's like, "Okay, I'll try. Like, I'm actually on my way to one right now." They're so excited about me, they're going to let me go check out one and get familiar with it. And he's like, "Okay, give me a list." And he's like, "Okay, I will, but like, be careful with that information. Don't waste it. Like, this is valuable. And obviously I had to get face tattoos to get it. So like,
don't
make
fuck
it worth
me
it
over
if you're going to do something." Dude.
Yeah, totally. Come on, brother.
And so Kelsier asks now about the Inquisitors, and Marsh says that they're strange and that he doesn't really know, but it seems like they have all of the Alamantic powers, and that he assumes that they were all once Mistborn. He can't really figure out much about them, and he does know that they do age and that they can die.
Yeah.
But he thinks that new ones must be recruited from nobleman ranks, and that they're people, and that they've merely just been changed somehow.
Right.
There are some strife between obligators and Inquisitors, some political tension. The Lord Praelin leads the church, but the Inquisitors think that they should be in charge. So there's some strife going on amongst the two factions here. And Marsh is like, "All right, I'm out. Gotta go." And Kelsier's like, "Hey, Marsh, like, thank you. Like, I know how dangerous this is. Like, thank you." And he's like, "I'm not doing it for you, but I appreciate you for saying it. I'm going to send you some other information." And then that really runs out. And then Kelsier's like, "All right, Vin, time to get you back to Mansion or no." back to the balls you go. House the Call's throwing another party in a few days, and you're gonna be there.
Bam.
And that's 27.
27, baby. Yeah, dude. I thought it was a great chapter. I think like Kelsier at the end, he's really confirming that like Inquisitors can die, right? Like we haven't even seen them really, we've seen them take lethal blows, but not in the right way, right? And so we're still figuring out like what it takes. Like we don't know what it is going to take to kill one. But Kelsier's like convinced, like, well, they age and they retire and get replaced, like they die, right? So like we can kill them. And I think that's like comforting to him after everything that happened in Critic Shaw and, kind of what he did to, getting Vin in that position. And it's almost like, what's the word I'm looking for? Not excusing, but just like validating his like, oh, well, we could go against them, like we could beat the Lord Ruler.
They're not immortal.
They're not immortal. It's possible. Like, I know we got fucked up by him, but like, we can do this, Vin. Like, look, Marsh says we can.
Come on, guys.
And and I don't know. I love getting to see Marsh here, fully committing. Like Marsh he's fucking in, man. He is,
he did it.
He did it hard. He did it, and he's like, yeah, I don't have time, and like I'm worried about him. Kel's worried about him. I hope that he's gonna be okay. We'll see. We'll read and find out, but. Yeah, dude, it's intense. So, yeah, I'm loving it. So all right, mandatory, recap questions. How are we feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited to see. Obviously, most importantly, the most important thing in this entire book is the romance between Vin and Ellen. So I'm really excited to see where that goes at the next ball.
Yeah.
As we've talked before, we love balls. So
we love balls. We love balls. Yeah, for sure.
And we're excited to spend time at the LaCall ball. See where that goes. I'm excited.
It's well named.
To see where Breeze and Doxson are going to go and plant some. Like they're going to have hopefully some scenes where they are infiltrating and either dropping information or getting information. I want to see kind of who their contacts are. I want to see Breeze's disguise and like who he pretends to be and that kind of stuff.
Right.
So I think that's all going to be fun. So yeah, I think again, just like always in this book, there's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts, and but those are I think the three things that I'm looking forward to see, and obviously too, what are we going to do with these soothing stations? Like, are we just going to observe them, and like, are we going to start to take them out? If you start to take them out, the ministry is going to know something's up, and like, well, who's the new people? Like who have we recently told about this? So Marsh could be in jeopardy here if it goes that way. So lots of different things could go wrong, and I'm sure some things will go wrong, right? Like, I mean, we just lost like 8,000 dudes in one day. Thanks, Eden.
Thanks, Eden. Yeah. Rest in pieces. Yeah. Sorry, that's a little metal, but literally a piece of him was on a piece of metal. So, anyways, yeah, man. I think, I'm loving where we're at in the book. I'm very excited to read more. We got some good content coming up. So, yeah, looking forward to it. I loved the snacks here. I love where we're kind of getting just a lot more about the Lord Rulers, that kind of backstory and really privileged information, right? Like, it doesn't really seem like he's talking with people. He's not rubbing elbows with the nobles. He doesn't show up to the parties. Like that's like its own little bubble. And so, yeah, I'm digging getting to know more about him. And I think.
Oh, yeah. And that's a great point, because my newest theory is that he's Vin's dad.
Oh,
that it's not really this Lord Preland.
Yeah. Well, it's the Preland. Yeah, exactly. Well, good theory. Dude, we got some hot takes, some hot theories.
It's a hot take.
Yeah, dude. I love it.
We had a lot of McDonald's references, and that's not a hot take, but it could be a hot cake.
It could be a hot cake. Could be a hot cake. Could be a hot cake later. But also on the way out. But yeah, no, another thing I looked up, because I said I was, and just like circle back, boomerang, Marsh and Kelsier's dad. So A lot of theories out there, not a ton of confirmed information. So I think we're safe to dive into theory world together here, which is like, I'm talking deep Reddit threads. Don't suggest you go to them yet.
So,
but like,
yeah. But
like,
you're thinking,
there's
no
we
haven't seen anything about the dad
and there's
before.
Nothing, and we're not gonna know, maybe learn more,
but
or like, it's
but he obviously
theories.
had to have been a noble person, right?
So this is what we know, and this is from what's already been in the book, from Marsh, specifically from Marsh, is that their father, because Marsh talks about the father.
Is this when they're on the
mother,
balcony and
correct,
he's
teaching her about seeking? Yeah, and he says that their father was a noble from the High Dominance, and when their mother dies, his mother was a resourceful mistress of a high nobleman, a clever woman who managed to hide the fact that she was Ska from her lord. Kelsier and Marsh had grown up privileged, but still noble until their father had finally discovered the truth. I think that part's really important, and we don't know much more of like which nobility or anything like that. But I think but this is like a big open
about
question.
Not just the nobility, but something about the ministry too, or no?
Yeah, no, there is a part about the ministry too. Marsh talks about when he snaps, and he says, "I'll do anything to hurt them. They took our mother. That's when I snapped, and that's when I vowed to destroy them." So, like, who told
they could certainly
the obligators? Who told the obligators that
Maybe they are all siblings.
Yeah, it's definitely not unproven here.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that could be part of it too. Maybe.
Yeah, but he goes, so I joined the rebellion and started learning all I could about Allomancies. Inquisitors use it, so I had to understand it. Understand everything I could, be as good as I could. And are you soothing me? Now, just to harken back to, like, that's where this is coming from, right? Like,
right.
him really, like, letting his tongue loose, which he doesn't do here at all. She didn't soothe him once. But here's when he's the most open about it, and he says, the mother was killed by these obligators, and then we could connect that they had this kind of like pseudo privileged life, and obviously we know they have a noble bloodline because that's where Allomancy comes from. So like we're able to infer that, but we're not able to really tell like where or who or a last name. So that does leave like they could absolutely be. You know what I mean? There's nothing not. And
it's like, dude, we don't even know if they know or if they don't know yet. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think we have enough information to know if they know who their father is, because they just said he was a member of the high nobility, right? Like,
he had to be. We don't know.
He didn't specify. Right?
No,
like,
never. He never did, ever. And that's not in any words, not even words of Brandon, which are like these extra words that people use as canon that he says at like conventions and stuff when people ask him questions. Right. That's on lock, dude. We don't know that yet. Maybe in the new series, maybe we'll learn more about it. Maybe that's why we don't know yet.Maybe it's something we'll learn. Maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe not.
Hard saying. Yeah. Maybe these characters like don't mean anything. Yeah, hard saying, not knowing.
Hard saying.
Yeah, just like Eden, I remember when we first, I had to call us out. When we first talked about Eden, and we were like, oh yeah, this guy Eden. I was like, Eden? Like, yeah, Eden. Oh yeah, Eden. Because I was like trying to play it cool, like, this dude doesn't get smoked.
Bro, are you soothing me?
Yeah. Are you soothing me? Yeah, I know, right? I was trying hard.
Well, now I'm rioted up.
Yeah, dude. Rioted up, brother. Well, all right. I hope everybody's rioted up and they're ready to go to fight the good fight against the Lord Ruler with us next week here on Shards and Shenanigans. We got some shout outs we'd like to throw out there. Shout out moms. If you haven't figured it out by now, we shout out the moms. Shout outs. Shout out to, but I want to have a special shout out tonight, everybody. I want to shout out to Kyle. Thanks, Kyle, for all the hard work that you're doing for this podcast. You're not allowed to edit this out, but Kyle, guys, behind the scenes, Kyle's doing a lot of magic. You guys don't even know. He's burning metals you ain't even ever seen before. All right, this guy is out there plugging in the social medias. He's out there editing these tracks better than you know. I'm trying to keep up, but I'm definitely dragging from my pewter because Kyle is in the lead. He's a Mistborn above all, and I just wanted to give a good shout out to my Misty boy, Kyle. All
Dang.
right.
Well, I don't think I can compete with that, but I will say that I appreciate Christopher, and I'm very always impressed at how eloquently he can wrap up and summarize what he's read and seen, and he can really dive into not only what's the written text is saying, but what's written under the text, the subtext, and he can really pull out those nuggets of metal, those ore, and refine it down into something that glistens. And so I really appreciate that. You're definitely way more eloquent than I am, and I say 100,000 times, and you can just rattle off this beautiful sentence where I'm just like, I might like that was kind of really beautiful. Like,
I'd throw in some.
I appreciate you for bringing some. You're bringing some real class here to the podcast. So appreciate you.
Thanks for shining the light of the gold on me, brother. Mistborn. Yep. Mr. Boys.
All right, everybody. Well, shout outs are out, and thanks for listening out to these couple chapters here, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Absolutely. Last sponsor that's not a sponsor, Traveler Whiskey. You were great tonight. Thanks, Traveler Whiskey. All right. Take care, everybody.
Goodbye.
Mr. Boys out.